What is going on, Rain Gang? What is going on, Ravens flock? We are back with yet another episode of Quiet Storm Sports right here on the Purple Rain podcast YouTube channel, where we cover all things Baltimore Ravens. And today I want to get into Lamar Jackson and the very, very interesting things he shared about his mindset and basically the warning shot that he sent to the NFL earlier today in the Lounge podcast interview. We're going to touch on that and so much more here on this episode of the show. But before I run the intro, as always, guys, like the video.
You're watching Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Subscribe for more Ravens content.
Yes, sir. And just like that, we are back. Welcome in to the channel, the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel, again, where we cover all things Baltimore Ravens. I am your host, Sutton Def, and this is the Quiet Storm Sports Show. If you're not familiar already, this is a show where I focus on Baltimore Ravens pretty much every day outside of Monday and Thursday, because that's our main pod with me and my co-host Simply AS10. We go live and talk about the Ravens, but any other day during the week besides that, I am here live solo dolo for Quiet Storm Sports to break down these Ravens. And boy, is there a lot to talk about. There is a crap ton to talk about. I mean, you've got interviews from Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Tavius Robinson, Ronnie Stanley. Right, there's just so much going on. Training camp. The guys reported to the castle today. There's some media that came out with that. So much to get into here on this episode of the show. As we are live, of course, always live. Let me see.
Have a great show.
We got TC dropping the super chat donation to kick us off here. Let's go ahead and clap it up for TC dropping the 20 ball in the chat, making it rain here on this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, Quiet Storm Sports. Thank you so much, TC. TC says, have a great show. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother, and appreciate you for coming through, supporting as always, man. You're the GOAT. You are the GOAT. Okay. Let me see. 410 is in the chat. Says, what's up, son? Keep dropping bangers, champ. I got you, brother. Season's right around the corner, too, so you know it's not stopping. We're only getting started here. Tila, what's going on, Tila? And the M stands for moderator. Good evening to you, says Sutton. You see Zay's muscles. He's ready to take you down if you keep on. I don't know if y'all seen my muscles. I be in the gym, okay? Maybe not as much as Zay Flowers up at 5 a.m. every day, like Lamar Jackson said, but I be in that gym too. I mean, so if Zay won, you know, I bet you I beat Zay Flowers in the arm wrestling contest. No, I'm just kidding. Probably not. Shout out to Zay Flowers. He does look damn good coming into this season. I'm very excited to see what he does this year. Stretch626 says, what's up, son? What's going on, Stretch? Then also special shout out to everybody who's part of the replay gang. That's right. You out there listening to the replay of this live stream. Shout out to you. Special shout out to you. Please be sure, if you've not already, leave a like on the video. Helps us out a ton here with the algorithm here on YouTube. Also subscribe to the channel as well. Big ups and shout out to everybody watching over on X as well. Don't want to forget about my people watching over on X. Okay. Here we go. And Darlene is in the chat as well. Another member. Devon says, man, I couldn't wait for the breakdown of this exclusive sit down with the Lamar Jackson. You know what, Devon? We might as well just go ahead and dive right into it, right? Let's not waste any more time. Let's pull us over into our media screen here. Lamar Jackson talking to the Lounge podcast featuring Garrett Downing and Ryan Mink. I think this is the first time he's been on the Lounge podcast in quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since he's been on the Lounge podcast, but he did make an appearance and he went for about almost 30 minutes and he said some very interesting things. There's a lot to take away from this. See, people always think that these Lounge podcast interviews are all just super cookie cutter, which they are for the most part. But, you know, your boy Sutton reads body language, reads too deep into things. I got to put my Psych Sutton hat on sometimes, and boy, did I do that for this interview. So let's go ahead and get started with this deep dive here. Lamar Jackson, what are we going to talk about first here? Lamar addressing that 69 ranking on the NFL 100 players list and whether or not he cares.
Or the year after. Yeah. How much do you feel like, you know, there is this kind of chip on your shoulder at some point to prove people wrong or whatnot, because we all go back to the not bad for a running back quote, right? and I think, look, we'll just plan it right now. Yeah. Not bad for 69 that would be kind of lit. I'm not going to lie. So,
by the way, it feels like that's the first time that Ryan Mink has ever used the word lit in his life. Is that just me? Ryan Mink or Garrett Downing, whichever one that is who just said that, but it sounds like that's the first time he's ever used the term lit ever, and I hope he never uses it again. Shout out to him, though.
Is there any part of you that still is like, all right, I'll show you?
Oh, that's every year. That's every year. That's going to be every year. You know, I love the game. And if you love the game like I do, it's going to always be a chip on your shoulder. You want to win. You want to prove yourself. You want to prove yourself better than you were the year before, the year prior, and stuff like that. So that's all I'm doing. Just proving myself right. I really don't care about the naysayers. You know, I told you guys this before. They're going to always be around.
Yep.
They're going to always be around.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's been a busy offseason for you. You've done a lot of things. Right. One of the things that I thought was really fun was you getting your jersey retired by your high school. So you go back to your high school, you had the jersey.
So real quick before he gets into all this jersey talk, Lamar, you can tell just by the way that he answers these questions, by the way that he is choosing to move off the field, he has matured so much over the years. And you're going to see that in this interview as we continue to do this deep dive. Some of his answers are things you wouldn't hear from Lamar Jackson previously. But here's where he's talking about how he got his jersey retired at his high school. And he was really, really excited about this too.
Was your retirement ceremony. Walk me through that. Like, what did that mean to you? Because it seemed like it meant a lot to you. What did that mean to you? And just how cool was it to be back in that environment?
It did mean a lot to me because one of my former teammates, Traquan Smith, he had like pretty much just got that put out there. Like, man, we want to retire, you know, Lamar's jersey. He reached out to me about it, like talking about it. I was like, oh, that's cool. You know, I've been in the league for a long time now. You know, I done went through college. But then for him to tell me that, and it happens for him to be the head coach of the former high school that we both played at. Mm-hmm. It was just a dope experience for me all around. And then he was playing against another one of our teammates who was the head coach at, I want to say Olympic Heights. I don't want to get this, I believe it's Olympic Heights. And I'm like, man, this is just a surreal experience for me. So I just was thrilled about that situation.
Yeah. Is it cool when you get a chance to go back and see?
And to be honest with you, his jersey should have been retired at his high school. If we're being real, like it shouldn't even have taken this long to get that done because, yeah. I mean, if Jaden Daniels, who I saw on the Netflix quarterback special, if he has his high school literally named their stadium after him, and he's only been in the league for a couple of seasons, Lamar Jackson should have had his jersey retired. But nonetheless, it is great to hear that he has, and you can tell it's very important to him.
The way that you are looked at by kids who are there today in the community, like you are a beacon of light, I think, for a lot of people, probably in your hometown and your high school. What did that mean to you?
Man, it means a lot. I know a lot of younger generation of kids just looking up at me, so I know I have to do the right thing at all times. You know, that's it. That's all that matters. You know, just guys looking up to you, coming from where you come from, wanting to be where you at. You know, or be who you are. It's like, I don't want you to be me. I want you to be yourself. Be like Jesus.
Hey, man, like the video for role model Lamar here. Be like Jesus, if anything, is what he's about to say here.
Anything, be a good person, but
that's what I'm talking about.
I just know I got to shine my light in a different way. You know, and that's just being me, being respectful, knowing kids looking up to me, you know, working hard, just giving back to the community as much as possible. I feel like it's small, but at the same time, it's big.
Yeah. Another thing we saw this offseason was your boxing. You know, working on that right hook a little bit.
I thought about bringing some boxing gloves in here for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tell us the story behind that, and how do you think that it's going to help you this season?
Just cardio. Yeah, that's what I did it for. Me and Zay, actually. Me and Zay just cardio. We was working out. We would work out like 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. Then we'll go box, you know, for extra cardio. So that's pretty much what I was doing it for.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whose idea?
I love that.
Was it was it your idea? Was it Zay's idea? Did a trainer approach you with it?
No, it was my idea. I know someone, a friend of mine. He was actually doing it. You know, he was actually boxing and stuff like that, but training, not to be a boxer. Yeah, he's in the tech.
I didn't realize, is Lamar Jackson like sweating profusely in this interview, and that's why he has this towel? I didn't realize that until just now. I've listened to this interview like twice over already. This is my third time, but damn, he must have been sweating for real.
But he was. He just told me to come down and, you know, just train, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good workout. So I told him, man, let's go work out. You know, let's go boxing. We've just been doing it ever since.
Yeah, and okay, let me actually let him finish here.
Feel like you're in phenomenal shape, better shape than even previous years?
Yeah, I actually do. I feel like I should have started early in the off season. It would have been better off for me.
That's the first warning. That's the first warning to the entire NFL. I feel like I'm in better shape than before. Lamar Jackson is 100% ready to go. Now, I know they're not specifically talking about, hey, look, How's your leg doing? Because we know that there was, a toe, an ankle, a hamstring that you were dealing with last season. How's that? And I don't think they got around to those questions here in this interview. I'm sure they will once training camp opens, and Lamar Jackson will probably be one of the first ones to hit the podium. I'm sure they'll ask him about that. And if they don't, it would be a disservice to the fans, to be honest with you. But the fact that Lamar Jackson was in the lab with Zay Flowers, boxing and getting that cardio ready to go right before the season, you can tell Lamar Jackson is more locked in this year than he has ever been in his career.
Yeah, that's cool. It is a great workout. It's really good.
Almost like every part of your muscles.
Yeah,
it's good.
All right, here we go. This next part right here, they're going to talk about how the vibes are sky high right now in the castle and really what that means to the team.
Well, just going into this training camp, it seems to me like when I have seen you in the building, on the practice field, vibes seem sky high. That's the way, like for you and the team, it just seems like the energy and the vibes are really high going into this training camp. Am I reading that right? How are you looking at it?
You're reading it right. You're reading it correct. So I'm hyped, man.
And see here real quick, y'all, this is where I got to put on my psychologist hat. This is where I got to read body language. This is where I got to listen to, in between the sentences and the words here and what Lamar Jackson is saying. Listen to the question one more time.
And the vibes are really high going into this training camp. Am I reading that right? How are you looking at it?
You're reading it right. You're reading it correct. So I'm hyped, man.
You're reading that right. You're reading it correct. It's like, yeah, vibes are high right now. Things are a lot different than they were before. We feel it, right? The aura in the castle is just different right now. The fans even feel it. That's what Lamar Jackson is pretty much telling you here.
I believe just because we finished the season off in a way we wasn't accustomed to.
They pissed off.
So
that's all it is.
Just that, new guys around, just a whole new team basically, and I'm a vet now. I've been a vet probably 2 years, I say.
Yeah.
But it's like now I'm really a vet, so it's like, man, it's just it's just overwhelming in a good way though, in a positive way. It's fun.
What has this coaching change been like for you?
Oh my goodness. It's great. Like it's
all right, see, that's the other one. That's the more damning one to me. What has this coaching change been like to you? And just look at Lamar Jackson's body language and just listen to his response. His initial knee-jerk reaction response to is it Garrett Downing or is it Ryan? I can never remember. I think it's Ryan. Ryan Mink asking him this question here. Just listen to, he just looks down, he's like, I couldn't even begin to describe the half of it. This is way better. When you read between the lines of what Lamar Jackson is saying, that's what he's saying here.
Just overwhelming in a good way though, in a positive way. It's fun.
What has this coaching change been like for you?
Oh my goodness.
The little laugh, just the OMG, and just like the little laugh and look down at the floor like, man, you guys don't even, again, you don't know the half of it, man. This new coaching staff is they're on top of it. Unlike in any way that, coaching staffs in the past in his career with the Ravens have been on top of things. I love this so far.
It's great. Like I'm always thinking, man, Dak can just quiz you at any time. Like, hey, what you got on this right here? It's like,
It's like passing in the hallway.
Yeah, not necessarily, but we're in the meeting room. He'll walk in, Coach Izzy, coaching us, Coach Mark is in the room with us.
Yep.
And Izzy just come in, go to talk, and he'd be like, hey, so if what's this place similar to? Stuff like that. So it's like, you got to be on your A game at all times. And I love that. It's like challenging in a good way, different terminology, different movements with the offense. It's just great all around. I feel like the guys just joined in on a new system, and we loving it.
Cool. And so he said, me, myself, and the guys, we have all bought in. We love this system so far. And the main thing that I want to focus on from what he said there, Chad, is that, Declan Doyle is that guy who's super hands-on with this team. He's probably the most hands-on coach that we know of so far, even more so than Jesse Minter, it seems like right now. Everybody has something positive to say about Declan Doyle. And hell, I mean, I guess we could have guessed this when the Chicago Bears lost him, and all the Chicago Bears fans were distraught. Like, why are we losing this guy? We should have kept him around for a couple more years, but oh well, we got Ben Johnson. He's our offensive guy anyway. So now Declan Doyle's in Baltimore, and he's bringing that talent, he's bringing that knowledge, that just kind of like that fire too. The fire as well is there. I mean, you heard before earlier in the offseason how Declan Doyle was like actually cursed out Lamar at minicamp one time when he wasn't doing what he needed him to do. And Lamar Jackson said that he really respected that. So Declan Doyle so far is you got to tip your cap to him. And nothing but good things that we've heard so far about Declan Doyle and this team.
I know you talked to minicamp. You joked about Declan Doyle cussing you out on the practice field to challenge you and kind of hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. I think that there's some perception that exists for today's athletes that guys don't want to be challenged.
86 Ghost dropping the membership, gifting the membership in the chat here to Reese63. Thank you so much, 86 Ghost. And now, Reese, you are part of the Rain Gang family, the membership. You get your badge. You get access to our giveaways. This season, there's going to be a lot more exclusive content coming out. Welcome to the Rain Gang membership family. And then also 86 Ghosts celebrating 6 months of channel membership himself. Thank you so much, 86 Ghosts. Man, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Real quick, before I continue, I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel on this journey that we've been on for the past X amount of years now. This season is probably going to be one of our best seasons ever. I have put a lot of thought and time into the channel and kind of the things that I want to do for you guys content wise and stuff like that. It starts with this set here. I changed my entire set. That's just how you know how we're coming this season, right? So thank y'all again so much for joining in and supporting on this journey here. For those of you guys who remember back in my old laptop days when the streams were messing up and now we don't have that anymore. And now we've got a new set. We've got new content pieces coming out. It's going to be great, guys. Going to be great. Thank y'all so much again. Let's get back to this, though. Let's get back to business. What I want to go to next is the fact that they brought up how Lamar Jackson, sticking on the topic of Declan Doyle, how Lamar Jackson is the same age as Declan Doyle and what that means to him.
I think the age, like you guys are the same age. You're both 29 years old. Yeah. Like, does that factor in at all? Is that helpful from the connection standpoint?
We probably would watch the same, I'll say, Prime show or something like that.
Yeah.
Prime show or something like that. But our age, it doesn't mean anything because respect is respect. His title is coach. So I'm going to treat him like a coach. I don't care if he's 50, 29, 28. I don't care if he was younger than me. He's probably a month older than me, but it really don't matter. His title is coach, so I'm going to treat him like a coach, and I want him to coach me like he's my coach.
Love that answer from Lamar as well. This was something that we speculated as soon as we found out, as soon as Ravens fans caught wind that this guy, Declan Doyle, is 29 years old, age mates with Lamar Jackson and some other guys on the team. We said that more than anything, like if nothing else, I think on a baseline level, they'll be able to relate to each other just even in terms of like, hey, like probably pop culture. Hey, what movies do you watch? What music do you listen to? And I get it. It may seem like a nothing burger. I understand that because it has zero to do with football. But I just think collaboration goes a lot longer of a way when there's a deeper understanding between the two people trying to collaborate. When I feel like I can relate to you, when I feel like I can see you at my level, which is something that Lamar Jackson has said about Declan Doyle. It's something that Zay Flowers has said about Declan Doyle as well. When they feel that way, I mean, I just think they feel more comfortable. I think they feel more in tune with their coaches. And that's important. It shouldn't be like, it shouldn't, this is not the early 2000s, right? This isn't like the 90s where you have coaches who are up here, players who are down here, players are subordinate to the coaches, and that's just the end of it, right? No. And he talks about Jesse Minter. He doesn't move that way either. It's more so a collaborative effort between the coaches and the players on the team. And I love to hear that. I do.
Now you won an MVP in Greg Roman's first year as offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You won an MVP in Todd Monken's first year as offensive coordinator. Should have been second also. There's a trend here. There's a pattern here. Right?
That's crazy.
What is it about first year coordinators you feel like that gets you really going?
I can't call it. I really can't call it. Probably new system. Defenses can't approach us the same way they've done in years past. Things have changed, different, like I said earlier, motions and stuff like that, different formations, different guys in different areas. So everything is just different. So how can you contain it, basically?
Yeah, and let me take that a step further, Lamar. This offense is going to look entirely different from what even us Ravens fans are used to. You know how like in the past couple of seasons, and let me know if you agree in the chat or in the comment section. You know how if you're a Ravens degenerate like myself, you remember how in the past, like maybe 4, 5 seasons, something like that. It felt like when you were watching a Ravens game live on TV, you knew this team so well that you kind of knew what their next move was on offense, like from down to down. Like I could tell you if it was like a 2nd and 4, okay, we're probably going to give it to Derrick Henry, or we're just going to run play action off of this, or we're going to go out of the gun, maybe a read option here. If it's 4th and 2, oh yeah, we're definitely going to go for it, maybe some sort of a QB power or something like that, or maybe we'll just, you could just kind of tell what they were going to do. There was a high level of predictability for this Ravens team, the Ravens offense specifically, especially on 3rd downs when you did not have Derrick Henry on the field. I mean, that's just basically showing all your cards there. We're not running it. We're passing it. Try to stop us. That's all it was. But in this new offense, I think you're going to see, and again, in the old offense, heavy packages with Pat Ricard and stuff like that. You had to deal with him. Nowadays, you got Durham Smythe, who's taking up that Pat Ricard role. So I do expect him to kind of be in different alignments in the backfield and maybe some insert blocking and things like that. He could do that. Some of the things that Pat Ricard did. But he's also a receiving threat. Right? Durham Smythe is also a receiving threat. Not to get off on too much of a tangent about him. He's not a huge receiving threat, but he's more of a receiving threat, I'd argue, than Patrick Ricard. So that really changes the math for a defense when you're game planning for the Ravens, on top of the fact that I do believe you're going to see a lot more 12 and 13 personnel. I do believe you're going to see a lot more Lamar Jackson playing under center, right? Which goes into Lamar Jackson's point here. This upcoming season, the Ravens are going to be throwing a punch that the league has never seen before. They've never seen it before. And that's the reason why every single year that Lamar Jackson has re-upped with a new offensive coordinator, he's won an MVP. He has gone completely scorched earth. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. See, here's the thing about the NFL that a lot of people don't understand. All it really is, at its core, when it comes to like game planning, strategy, and things like that, it's a game of tug of war between offensive minds and defensive minds. That's all it is. And when you get somebody who innovates like a Jesse Minter, when you get somebody who innovates like a Declan Doyle, hell, like a Sean McVay, like a Mike McDonald, I can go on and on with some of these younger innovative coaches. They kind of pull the rope in that tug of war contest towards, okay, there's this new hot young offensive coach on the scene right now. He's crushing it. The league is kind of shifting back to offense. Oh, Mike McDonald now is showing us that in the Super Bowls, it's really all coming down to those trenches and what you can do on defense. Now the tide shifts back towards defense, like being the prowess in the league. Do you understand what I'm saying, chat? I hope you do. But I just think that this year you're going to get Declan Doyle and Jesse Minter in tandem, kind of really, really pulling the rope in that direction, back in the really just in the Ravens' favor. I'll say that, in the Ravens' favor. No one's going to know how to deal with it until they know how to deal with it. So I think that the Ravens have the element of surprise this season.
Well, and I think that's kind of the mark of a special player, right? Is like just when people think they have an idea of how to defend you, now we're going to change it up, and now you're going to have to deal with something new, right? Like
exactly.
the best players, regardless of sport, that happens when they can change. And I feel like you're in that same boat. Like you've adapted and changed with each coordinator.
Absolutely.
How do you see yourself adapting and changing now with Declan?
Smooth, but like we talked about earlier, challenging. He challenging me each and every day. Whether it's footwork, whether it's just get the ball rolling. Let's get to the line of scrimmage, execute at a fast tempo. And even though it's a new system, but I want you thinking. In the classroom, he told me that earlier, in the classroom, it's easy for you to just get this right. But when you get up to the line of scrimmage, it's the execution fast enough, and I like that. I actually like that.
That's what I'm talking about. Another thing, let's throw it back a little bit more to history of the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Do you remember the times in the Greg Roman offense where it seemed as though the offense was getting to the line of scrimmage with about maybe 4 seconds left on the play clock? Didn't it seem like the offense was very slow and clunky? Right? And then you get Todd Monken, who came in, fixed that for the most part. But there were still some deficiencies in this offense in terms of like how predictable it was at the end of the day. I think that you're going to be adding another level of dynamism to this offense that will make them play a lot more faster, right? You know what it really feels like to me? It feels like we went from like a Greg Roman offense was like an old pickup truck, right? It got the job done in most cases, but when you really needed it to throttle and like really, really get up to a high speed and perform at a high, couldn't really do it. Todd Monken, you upgrade to like, I don't know, like a modern, like an SUV, right? It looks a little better now. It looks a little cleaner, right? It can do a couple more things. We love that. I think that this offense is going to be quite simply like, and I know how a lot of you guys feel about this, but give me like Tesla Cybertruck levels, right? And what I mean by that is just how advanced it's going to be, how powerful it's going to be, how fast it's going to be. It's truly amazing watching kind of like the evolution of Lamar Jackson's career. When you look like when we go back and it's all said and done, we're really going to look at like the different eras, right, of Lamar's career, the Roman era, and then the Roman era. That actually sounds cool. And then the Monken era, and now the Doyle era, right? And just kind of compare and contrast where Lamar Jackson was at his best. But I'd argue that he's only getting better and better and better. And I think you're going to see that again this year with another great season, another bounce back season from Lamar Jackson. Okay.
What's your role in giving him guidance of what you like? Like when he first started, when him and Jesse first started, do you sit down with them and say like, here's how I see the game? Here's
CQ, I knew you were going to hate on it. I knew somebody was going to hate on it, but it's because it's smart and it's powerful and it performs very well. That's what I predict from this offense. That's the only reason why I had to make that comparison. Okay. I'm sorry.
What I would like to see the offense look like. Walk me through that process a little bit.
Yeah, pretty much all of that. They came down to Florida, Coach Jesse and Deck talked to me. They asked me a little bit about that. You know what? It wasn't even about that the first meeting with those two. It was about, just getting a feel for me. I'm getting a feel for those guys. And when I came up, our OTAs, we meet. And it's just like, okay, so how do you see, like, how you study? How do you see this and that? And we just went to piggybacking off of each other.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite route to throw?
Whatever one's a touchdown. Whichever one's a touchdown. I like to score. It really doesn't matter because you can throw a slant and it can go to the house. You can throw a bubble, it can go to the house. I like to put points on the board. So whichever one put us in the end zone.
Yeah, I like that. That play sounds good.
I love it.
Did it mean a lot to you when Declan and Jesse came down to Florida and just got to know you and spent time with you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. It means a lot. They told me, I was a part of the reason, those guys came, wanted to take the job, plus Derrick Henry, Kyle, and the rest of the unit, rest of my guys. But it definitely meant a lot to me. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes,
I think a lot of people, as we talked about, there's always questions about different things, right? And you've proven everybody beyond the shadow of doubt who you are as a passer, right?
Absolutely.
And now, the crazy part is like, people are like, well, can he still run like he used to run?
Yeah, that's what they're
it's
saying.
full circle, man. They have to go back to the beginning, right?
That's so funny.
Isn't it crazy?
That's so funny.
Right.
So
Like, what do you say? I mean, obviously last year, the injuries, obviously, all of us in this building knew what was kind of going on, right?
Yes,
But like,
sir.
what do you say to people who are like, I don't know, Lamar's average yards per, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, what do you say to that?
Man, I just play football. Just like you said, early on in my career, he can't throw.
Right.
I can't throw. He was a running back.
Right.
Now it's he's not running enough. Like, it's pick your poison. I'm the type of player you got to pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
I'm approaching defenses, whatever they give me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take that. I'm trying to score. I'm trying to move the ball down the field. So if I don't have to run, I'm not going to run.
Right.
I'm not going to force anything.
Right.
I'm trying to win. So you got to use your mind.
Yep.
Now, see, I feel two ways about what Lamar Jackson just broke down there. Because basically what he's saying is like, yeah, people criticize the fact that like maybe I'm not the same runner that I was when I was 21, 22, 23 years old, but I've wised up and I've understood, like I understand now that like my athleticism, my sheer athleticism is not going to win me a Super Bowl. My legs are not going to win me a Super Bowl. What's going to win me a Super Bowl is what's in between my ears. You got to use your mind. You heard Lamar Jackson just say it there. What's going to win this team a Super Bowl is Lamar Jackson being a cerebral quarterback that dices up a defense. But when he really, really needs it, that's when he's going to run. Lamar Jackson's always been this way too. He's actually always been this way. Like, he does not want to run unless he has to, unless he absolutely has to. Like outside of, I'd say, the 2018 season when it was really a bunch of run packages and, hey, Lamar, just go out there, run around, make some stuff happen. And it was working, right? Because he was just way too athletic at 20, 21 years old. And then maybe a little bit in that 2019 season as well. But ever since then, it's really been more so him doing it with his arm. That's where we're at now. That's where we're at. Now, the reason why I say I feel two different ways about this, because that's the first way. I love the maturity from Lamar Jackson. However, I do still want to see him prove early on that he still got that wiggle, right? Because for everybody who's criticizing Lamar and, oh, he's banged up, oh, he can't run like he used to, I take you back to week 1 against the Bills on Sunday Night Football. You guys remember the play I'm going to reference here, where he drops back like 13 yards, right? And he's dipping and dodging and evading, shaking and baking around Bills defenders, and he ends up getting upfield for like a gain of like 15 or 20. And that was probably like the highlight of the game. Highlight of the game. That was just going on last season. And then the next couple of games, he gets banged out, missed some time, and he never really looked the same. But now, and this is why we needed this offseason more than anything. The Ravens desperately needed to get to an offseason, retool the coaching staff, which they did, and rehab Lamar Jackson and get him healthy and ready to rock for next season. And all signs point towards he's ready to go. So I need to see early on if he still got that wiggle, kind of like that burst. Because back half of the season, I get it. We know he was hurt. His ankles are taped up with freaking tennis balls and whatnot on certain weeks. But I do want to see if he still got that escapability. I know he does. But like, maybe I just miss it as a fan. Maybe that's what it is, right? Maybe that's what it is. But I do want to see that, though. I do. But pick your poison. I mean, I do love that mentality at the end of the day, because it's like, at the end, I'm a quarterback. So I'm not always going to, the world expects me to just tuck it and run. But I've proven to you guys that when you take away the running lanes, I'm going to throw it right over your head. And when you don't take away the run lanes, then I'm going to run it up the gut. And I'm going to pick up first downs and break your back that way. So it's literally a pick your poison type of offense for Lamar Jackson. Not to mention with Declan Doyle, I mean, here's the thing. When you have the type of pieces that you have on this Ravens offense with a Derrick Henry, where you have to load the box up a little bit extra. Oh, but then we're going to throw 3 tight ends on the field. So how are you going to guard them? You're just going to have a bunch of linebackers trying to keep up with Mark Andrews or Matthew Hibner or Quavis, whoever it is. Hopefully one of those young guys breaks out. But it's going to be a pick your poison offense, like in general. Just in general. With the pieces that this Ravens team has. Okay, let's get to the next part of the interview here. Lamar Jackson on Jesse Minter.
Yep.
We asked you a lot about Declan Doyle, but I also want to get your take on Jesse Minter and the way that you guys have connected and the way that he's running things here early in training camp, and what your impressions have been of him as a head coach.
Oh, yeah. Coach Jesse, he's cool, bro. He's like, he got away about himself. He's just like, man, that guy, I like that guy right there, man. He's smooth.
Yeah.
Just yesterday, he was getting on one of the players. I never seen him get on anyone. No, not even OTAs early on, Just yesterday, he got on one of the players. And then after, we break down. I'm like, Coach, this is my first time seeing you get after someone. So he's like, sometimes, you got to. He's like, in a cool way, too. It was like, yeah. I understand. He's just cool, man. And to me, I feel like he gets it. He's a team, like a team player guy, like team player coach. Mm-hmm. Like he's all about the guys, how do you feel about this? How should we move with certain things, okay.
What I say about that collaboration, chat, the last coaching regime, it was their way or the highway. Jesse Minter's like, no, I want to know how you feel about this. I know I'm the coach, this is my game plan, but how do you feel about this? You're a football mind as well. Let's collaborate on this. Because maybe we can sharpen this and we can make it as good as it possibly can be, not only for me and what I expect, but for you as well, Lamar. And I just love that mentality from my head coach.
Hey, this might be too much. It's like he sees it. Like he sees, like we was just running the other day and he was like, all right, tomorrow we're not going to do that. We're not going to run after practice. We're just going to do this, And it's like, okay, he gets us. He understands.
And that's another thing. What do we hear Zay Flowers say earlier in this offseason? John Harbaugh was running them into the ground. He was in ice baths on Sunday mornings and some more crazy stuff. Practices were brutal. But Jesse Minter has his pulse on the team a little bit better. He knows, like, he's looking and see, hey, look, my guys are exhausted today. If we've got a game in 3-4 days, I'm not going to keep running them into the ground so that way they're not their best when their best is needed. That's Jesse Minter's entire motto. I need you to be at your best when your best is needed. And damn it, you're all professionals. So I don't need your absolute best on Tuesday or Wednesday in practice, in week 11 of the season or 12 of the season or whatever. I need you at your best on Sundays. I need you at your best on Sunday nights, on Thursday nights. Hell, even Saturday nights nowadays. That's when I need you. Monday nights. That's when I need you at your best. I love that. The fact that our quarterback feels seen, but the team does as well.
Yeah, it's dope.
Do you think like the little things like the be your best competition at the end of practice and the way that he's kind of structured things, do you feel like that is helping? It seems to me like it's helping camaraderie. Like I watched that session at the end of practice and it seems like everybody's having a great time and building the chemistry. Yeah. But then it also seems like it's putting you guys in the mindset that at any moment you're going to have to be called upon to deliver on the big play or the big moment of a game. How do you feel like all of that stuff is going to help you?
By the way, you're right, Void. I do want to know who that was that Jesse Minter got on in practice, right? Who was that? Who was that about? Ah, man. I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that.
Once you get into the season.
Yeah, like you said, just building chemistry from that standpoint from day one. And, we got a lot of young guys in now. And in this league, it's any given moment, any given play, it might be a next man up. So just with guys just having the confidence in themselves, I can play with these guys, or my teammate looking at me to hold myself accountable, and he holding me accountable. That's pretty much what Coach been pretty much preaching to us all, and that's what it's been. And I feel like the sky's the limit. Is like there's no limit for us to have success with a coach like that, or just talking to the team in such a manner. Right. Smooth.
We talk about all the coaching turnover, but there has been some roster turnover. Obviously, you guys, likely, unfortunately, and stuff. Chad. But you still have some of your dogs. You know what I mean? Zay, Mark, Derek, all the bait. Those guys, right? And now
Chad, I don't know if y'all seen it. Y'all might have missed it. It was quick. You probably missed it. But this is why you come and join your boy Sutton on Quiet Storm Sports, so I can do these deep dives and break things down for you and read between the lines for you so you don't have to. I told you I'm big on body language. Lamar Jackson's body language, while Ryan Mink was just naming all of Lamar Jackson's weapons, he had a very serious kind of stoic face on him. Like, yeah, you're right. I mean, I do have some dogs. I mean, yeah, we lost Likely, but I still have Derrick Henry. I've still got Zay Flowers. But unfortunately, when he got to Rashad Bateman's name, the body language all of a sudden changed. And you get what you see now from Lamar Jackson. Looking down, twiddling his fingers and smiling in a little chuckle, right? Right after Rashad Bateman's name was mentioned. Now, what does that mean? Chat, I don't know. But let's take another look at it.
Have some of your dogs, you know what I mean?
Look how serious he is. You still got some of your dogs, right? Lamar's like, yeah, I do. Zay, Derek.
Zay, Mark, Derek, all the bait, those guys, right? And now
as soon as he says bait, he's like, he just started laughing. Lamar, what's that? Lamar, what's funny? What's funny, Lamar? What's funny about Bateman? That's what I want to know. It's Modius with the super chat donation. Because even LJ8 knows Bateman, I'm not even going to say that last word, but thank you so much, Asmodeus, for the super chat donation, brother. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I feel about that, chat. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. I feel I'm gonna play it one more time for those in the back.
Have some of your dogs, you know what I mean? Zay, Mark, Derek, all the bait, you know, those guys, right? And now you have this young crop of pass catchers, the two
All
rookie wide receivers.
Get it. We moving on. What about these young kids? What do you like about them, Lamar?
You know, Jacoby and Elijah. And then you have the two tight ends, you know, Matt and Cuevas. And so just kind of how do you look, Tez, obviously a big part of that.
Yes.
How do you look at the arsenal of weapons around you as you go into this year?
It's all good on paper. You know, I'm not a paper guy. We get on the field and we show. You know, I'm a lead by example type of guy. I really don't care about the paper aspect. Like, a lot of good names, but it's what we're gonna do when we get on the field.
You don't believe in this receiving core.
How will we produce? You know, how will we move the ball? How will we challenge ourselves? And that's pretty much how I'm rolling. Like, I love all my guys. Like, all the guys who we have, it looks and sound good.
Yeah.
But once we get on that field, let's just prove it.
Do you like?
I don't think that Lamar Jackson is too confident in this wide receiver room. I don't think he is. Coach, dropping the $2 super chat donation in the chat. Thank you so much, brother. Making it rain here on Quiet Storm Sports. No, Lamar Jackson will never go in the bait hate book. Unless it comes out that they are, you know, definitely like at odds and we find some concrete evidence of that, more so than me just kind of like reaching here for lack of better words, then no, he can't go in the book. Not happening. Another two-piece coming from OG Juju Bean. Thank you so much. OG Juju Bean says, add Lamar to the list. Nope. Can't do it. Won't do it. Not my GOAT. And in case you don't know, I do have a list of names who have been hating on Rashad Bateman all off season long. So when Rashad Bateman turns up this season, I know exactly who needs to stay on that side. If you want to be part of that book, you haven't heard about it just yet, drop it down below in the comments, drop your name, and I'll put you up in there. Don't even worry about it. But no, we can't add Lamar to the list. We're not doing that.
Having these young guys, all 4 rookies in there that are looking to you, right? And like you're establishing that connection with them and you're coaching them, I'm sure. Yeah. Like, is that another exciting part of this season for you? Is I have these young, talented dudes that I get to work with, you know?
It's cool. I don't consider myself old, but it's like these guys, just yesterday, I believe, I think it was Coach Izzy or Deck, it was like, when you was in your rookie in the league, those guys were like in 10th grade.
That's not fair.
So it's like for me to be talking to these guys about how I see the game and, you know, how, my feel for the game, it's cool. Like, it's really cool to me. You know, I find it funny sometimes, though, because I feel like I was just a rookie.
You're right. You can't say you're old because that makes us ancient.
Yeah,
all right,
that's what
Lamar.
I'm saying. I'm not going to call myself old. I'm only 29.
It is crazy, though. I was thinking about this the other day because I'm like, you're one of the players in my career here. I've been here for 15 years that I've worked with the longest. Like, you're up there now. And it's like, wow, it's kind of crazy thinking about it.
It's crazy.
in those terms.
Yes,
in talking about their weapons, I got to get your take on Zay because I just feel like Zay is going to have a monster season. Like, he's been great, but I think that like his game could take even another leap, and people are going to be talking about him after the season as one of the best receivers in the game.
Bro, it's like it's night and day with him. Like, we've seen it since his rookie year. You know, he's been the same player, and all he know is grind. Like, that's the thing with Zay. All he know is work. 5 a.m, work. 5 a.m, work. Like 7 days out the week almost. It's like, bro, when you gonna break? I'm asking him, I'm like, when your off day? Oh, Sunday. I'm like, Sunday? You working Monday too? Like, we're in the off season, like chill a little bit. Like, just chill a little bit, man. But man, his work ethic is extremely out of this world. That's why he's the type of player he is, though. And this year, I feel like he will have a monstrous year, man. Hopefully a record-breaking year, because like I said, the work ethic, I'm gonna speak on that all the time. He's smart. He's a smart player. But that work ethic, it's going to take him way farther, like way further. Like,
That's awesome.
He different.
Yeah, so, I mean, we already knew Lamar Jackson, he has a quite an affinity towards Zay Flowers, or really any receiver that comes out of the state of Florida. However, this was a special type of praise here. A special type of praise for Zay Flowers and Zay Flowers only. And he just kept harping on, the work ethic. I mean, the guy just works so hard. All he knows is grind. Which tells me that it's probably the only one he feels that way about. Or at least the only pass catcher he feels that way about so far. And it may just be a virtue of him being so close with Zay Flowers, so he knows his schedule, and they're always hanging out and working out together and stuff like that. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. However, I don't think that this bodes very well for Bateman. This interview in general wasn't a good look for Rashad Bateman. And I can admit that as a Bateman truther, as the number one Bate believer in the Ravens flock, I can admit that. So yeah, I mean, look, man, look, Bateman truthers, we are a little bit down right now, but it's all good because guess what? Guess what? They get out on that field tomorrow. And guess what we're going to see? We're going to see some 7-on-7s, maybe some 1-on-1 reps, receiver DB. And I can almost guarantee you that you're going to get Jeff Zrebiec or Jonas Schaefer or whatever beat writer you subscribe to. They're going to be making tweets about, oh, Rashad Bateman had a standout day in training camp. Oh, he made a great catch up the sideline, or he did this in the red zone. It's coming. And guess what? I'll be right here waiting for all you haters out there who kicking your boy while I'm down as the number one Bate believer. But it's all good, though. It's all good. That is Lamar Jackson on Zay Flowers. How about Lamar Jackson talking about this new O-line, yeah?
Well, speaking of some players you got too, the offensive line, right? The big investments that the team made there, bringing back John Simpson, drafting Venga Ioane in the first round. Now pick up Ethan Posick, a veteran center.
See, this is why I like Darlene. Darlene, she knows what she's talking about. With your boy.
Obviously, last year we saw kind of it goes uneven at times, right? Yeah. How do you feel with this offensive line? Because I always feel like, man, you give Lamar a little bit of time, it's game over, right? How do you feel going into the year with this line?
Pretty much the same way I felt about our skill players. Yeah. It's good on paper, we just got to show it. We got to prove it. Prove how talented we are. Not just, the name speak for itself. It's like, no, each and every year you got to go out there and prove your name and speak for itself until you're done. So,
I think sometimes people get things a little twisted and they're like, well, Lamar, he can always escape pressure, right? That's Lamar, right? How much better is Lamar Jackson when he has that protection?
I feel like that's how Eric DeCosta feels. Hey, look. We don't need an offensive line because we got Lamar Jackson. Asmodeus with the super chat. Thank you so much, Asmodeus. Says, Sutton, it's not even true hate. Just being honest. I know it's not true hate coming from you, Asmodeus. Although you are in the book. I know it's not true, genuine hate from you. You are one of the more level-headed, Bate haters. And for that, I appreciate you, Asmodeus. And I get it, you're being honest. But that's what I'm being honest, too. I see it. I didn't even have to call it out that Lamar Jackson had this little weird chuckle after Rashad Bateman's name was brought up. I didn't have to call that out. But I did, even as a Bate believer, as a supporter, because I got to be as subjective as I am about Bateman. When I see objective things happen, or slightly objective, I got to call them out. Thank you so much, Asmodeus, for your super chat donation. But yeah, that O-line last year, like Lamar Jackson was getting out here, he actually did admit like it was shaky, right? It was shaky last year. But going into this year, again, much like he said with the skill players, I feel the same. Like on paper, we look good. And he's right. On paper, Ronnie Stanley, John Simpson coming back, Ethan Posick, Posick. I think that's exactly how you pronounce his name. Ethan Posick at center, Venga Ioane, a first round pick at right guard, and then of course Roger Rosengarten rounding out the line at right tackle. On paper, it looks pretty damn decent. And I think that's generous to say right now. We are really going to have to see how that O-line performs. Now, Coach Dwayne Ledford, they've been talking him up a lot as well. Ronnie Stanley actually spoke about him earlier today during his media run. But this offensive line is probably one of the bigger question marks on this team. I think the offensive line is a bigger question mark than the receiving core. I think that the Ravens' offensive line is a bigger question mark as of right now than the Ravens receiving core. And I don't think that's crazy to say. And the reason why I think it's a bigger question mark is because, hell, the wide receivers can't get anything done if the O-line can't get anything done. So first things first. Can Vega Ioane play day one and perform at a high level? That's a question. He is a rookie. That's a question. We just don't know yet. On paper, since he was drafted 14th overall, on paper, because at Penn State, he didn't allow a sack his last 2 seasons, and his run blocking was damn good as well. On paper, that looks great. That sounds great. John Simpson is still serviceable at this point in his career. On paper, again, that sounds great. We don't know what he's going to look like this year. Ethan Posick was just on the couch eating chips as of about a week ago. Now he's gearing up to play center for a Super Bowl contending team. Meanwhile, again, he was on the couch. Nobody wanted him. So we'll see what that guard center guard combination looks like. Is Roger Rosengard going to have a bounce back year? Because he was super inconsistent for me last year as well, Roger Rosengard. And then Ronnie Stanley, he's Stanley. Mac Millie with the super chat donation. Thank you so much, Mac Millie. Dropping the 5-piece in the chat, making it rain here at the Purple Rain Podcast. Says this team will go as far as the O-line will take them. That's 100% facts. That is a fact. I think I said this a couple of weeks ago. Your team goes as the offensive line goes. The entire team. I'm talking about offense and defense. Obviously, your offensive line is going to be what gets your skill players more opportunities. So your wide receivers, your tight ends, your quarterbacks, your running backs. It's going to give them more opportunities the better the offensive line is. But also, if you have sustained success in the trenches on your offensive line, and you can lean on teams and really win that time of possession battle and keep the other team's defense on the field, meanwhile your defense stays fresh, now your O-line's helping out your D-line and your entire defense, and subsequently your entire team. Offensive line is the most important position group in the game of football. Period. It is. Thank you so much, Mac Millie. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move into the next little piece of this interview I wanted to show you guys. Where was it? Lamar Jackson's mindset shift, right? He's going into year 9 now. What is Lamar Jackson? How is he thinking differently now?
Covering all that play a part, even though, we got to get better now, each and every week, each and every day, in the film room, recovering all that play a part, even though at the end of the season, some guys are banged up, but a lot of guys push through and meet their team, help their team go to the next level, win the Super Bowl, win in the playoffs. So we got to start now in training camp, each and every day, just build on that consistently, just being consistent, practicing hard, being smart. I feel like we'll get to where we want to go, but until then, we just got to focus on each and every day, meetings, practice until Sunday, win games, and just so on. Until we get there, we can't focus on the Super Bowl without producing now. We were just 8-9. We finished 8-9, 9-8 last year. Mm-hmm. We didn't beat the Super Bowl. We was talking about it, but we didn't produce. So it's like, why talk about it? We got to be about it now. Finish games, finish practice, keep getting better, and the promised land would be ours.
Is that something that you learned over time? Because I feel like earlier in your career, we all know you want to win a Super Bowl. I mean, we all know that. Okay, everybody is aware of that. Mm-hmm. But it seems like maybe earlier in your career, you were thinking Super Bowl, and now it seems like you're thinking just today. Like, is that a mindset shift?
Yeah, because younger, and early on in my career, it was like rookie year and stuff like that. It was like, yeah, NFL is nothing different. But it's like, oh, yes, it is, because it ramp up sometimes. Depending on who you playing, depending on the atmosphere of the game, guys might come out there and have your number. And not just necessarily you, but the team. It's like, dang, we not producing. Like, we not moving the ball. Like, what's going on? Why we starting slow? Why we finishing slow? Certain games I felt like in my career, throughout years, we didn't produce how we were supposed to. And that's just what me growing over time and seeing that is like, we got to get better now. We got to work on things right now. We got to get better now and finish and practice. Because just probably 2 days ago, we started off shaky, finished shaky. And like Coach talked about that. And I'm like, dang, we went through that years in the past. We need to work on stuff like that now. So when the season come, playoffs come, and so on, we won't ever have that situation happen. You know, not every game gonna be perfect, but we won't start slow, we won't finish slow.
Right. Do you think?
And, I love the fact that he said that not every game is going to be perfect, because the last thing that I want Lamar Jackson is to take a mentality like that. Like, hey, look, at all times, we need to be starting fast. Because sometimes you can come out, you can have a plan to start fast, but then you get punched in the mouth, right? And now you've gone your first 2 drives, back-to-back 3-and-outs, and I don't need him on the sidelines frustrated, throwing his helmet or throwing the tablet or whatever, because the first 2 drives didn't go the way that he wanted them to go. So I love the fact that he said, not every game's going to be perfect, but this is why you have to start preparation so early. You got to start from day 1, day 0. And this is why you've seen Lamar Jackson have a total shift in behavior this offseason as opposed to his behavior in previous off seasons. Not showing up to all the OTAs that he could, the voluntary ones, the whatever ones, he was there this year. He was there and locked in. He's going to speak a little bit more about just how locked in he is this season, but he has made some changes. He's made some changes to his mindset, and I think that's going to translate onto the field, and we'll see.
That's the result in part because of 2019. Like, you're just cutting through dudes. Like, that team felt unstoppable.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right? That,
no
like,
doubt.
At that point, it was like, man, this is kind of easy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no doubt.
Do you feel like that's what kind of affected that mindset?
That's that young mindset. That's the young mindset. Like, it's easy.
Right.
Then we go out there, we play Titans. Those guys, like, we want to beat them. They 14-2.
Right.
People not expecting us to beat them.
Right.
We was predicted to win.
Right.
All of that high expectations. The Ravens going to roll through them.
Right.
And they come out and beat us like 28-12 or something, 6 or something. Like, it's like, bro, we didn't start fast. We didn't finish nothing. It was all downhill from the get-go. So it's like, we get in training camp, and like I said, this whole process, meetings, all of that, the challenges from Coach Declan and Coach Jesse, we need all of that, because that's going to help us in the long run.
Does that mean the ping pong tables are still out?
I mean, it's a new team. It's a new season.
New season, okay.
Yeah, new season.
We get a chance.
Yeah, we get a chance. But we got to stay locked in, though. Don't just start BSing and start just sitting around thinking it's cool. I don't care if we start off 5-0, 6-0.
Yeah.
We got to finish.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
We got to finish the whole season. Like, this whole... And I just told them, even my family, is like, I'm locked in this whole season. Like, I'm really not trying to see nobody.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really not.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. Like,
You heard that? I mean, that's actually kind of crazy. Lamar Jackson said that, I just told my family when the season starts, I'm really not trying to see nobody. I'm locked in. I've got that tunnel vision. That tunnel vision that Declan Doyle was talking about, Lamar Jackson has that. And Lamar Jackson always, sets an example. He leads by example. Right? He's not really the most vocal leader. So maybe, just maybe, that is another little wrinkle that you'll see added to Lamar Jackson's game. Like, throughout the game from start to finish on the season, he's the guy breaking down the huddles. He's the guy really getting in guys' faces and firing them up and things like that and making sure that guys are where they need to be. I think Declan Doyle understands the importance of that as well. That's why you see Declan Doyle actually actively coaching up Lamar Jackson on how to lead these guys. Okay? So maybe that's another little wrinkle we get in Lamar Jackson's game. Just a little bit more leadership here, all right? Let me see. Mac Millie with another super chat donation. Mac Millie, okay, making it rain here. First time viewer, I want to say. Mac Millie, haven't seen you around here before, but thank you so much for coming through, and thank you for supporting the show. Mac Millie says, Lamar does not get enough credit for his maturation, leadership skills, mindset, and how team-oriented he is. That's a fact. That's a fact. Everybody still looks at Lamar Jackson as like this guy who is just super athletic, God-given talents with his legs, and he's a super electric runner and things like that, athlete. But he's not too cerebral, right? He can he's made strides in the passing now, but they still try to criticize him for that. Oh, he's only good at passing because he's good at running. Like that's his fault. But nobody really sees how he has matured, in his leadership skills and his mindset, how it's developed over the years. He's not done here talking about his mindset. He puts a nice little bow on it at the very end of the episode here, the podcast. And I want to get into that. But again, thank you so much, Mac and Millie, for the 5P super chat donation. You're absolutely right. Lamar only gets credit for the things that you can never take away from him, which are his accolades, which are those 2 MVPs. You notice they don't really talk about the first team All-Pros, which I think mean more than MVPs. He has 3 of those, right? And he has 2 MVPs. But the only things they don't take away from him are those 2 MVPs and the fact that he's a really good runner. You know, they'll kind of give him like a little backhanded compliment, like, oh, he's developed much as a passer now. But again, like I said, he's only that good at passing because you have to be so afraid of his running, which cannot be further from the truth. Cannot be further from the truth. Mac Millie says, I've been around a little bit. Okay, Mac Millie, well, welcome back in. It is football season again. We are back. So hopefully I see you around these parts more, man. Thank you so much for coming through, Mac Millie. Okay. All right. So what else do we have here? Lamar Jackson. Let me see. Oh, I wanted to bring up this part. This part was pretty good. Talking about pressure. Does Lamar feel pressure going into year 9 that he's got to get it done now?
Is, like you said, you're 29 years old.
Yeah.
Like, is there in the back of your mind kind of like, I got to get it done now? The clock is starting, right? Like,
No, not necessarily. I always wanted to get it done now.
Yeah.
It's from day one. From when I got drafted, man, I wanted to get it done then.
Yeah.
I look at all the greats, the guys before me, who won it, and it's like, I always wanted to be in that confetti. I always say that. Like, I want to feel that confetti falling down. Like, you just won the Super Bowl. Like, watching when Flack and those guys, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, those guys on Ray Lewis' way out, Jimmy Smith, all those guys, man, Jacoby Jones, rest in peace to him. Like, those guys it was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I want to feel that atmosphere. I want to be that. I want to be one of those guys to.
I literally will shed a tear if we can get this guy a Super Bowl. I will. You want to know how I know? Because I shed a tear the last time the Ravens won a Super Bowl. And that was for Joe Flacco. And I feel way more strongly.
After watching this interview,
About
I
Lamar.
respect Lamar even more.
Another Super Chat donation. But yeah, I feel way more, strong about Lamar Jackson and, how much I love this dude, right? He's our quarterback, but like, he's a great person too. Like, if Lamar was like this great player on the field, but like off the field, you heard stuff that he wasn't the greatest guy and stuff. I feel differently, but he's actually genuinely a good person, God-fearing man. And he just happens to be damn good at football. And he just happens to play for my football team, your football team. Yeah, I'm gonna shed a tear. It's gonna be a little thug tear. A little thug tear when Lamar wins that championship and he's smiling ear to ear, right? And he's hoisting that Lombardi and the confetti's flying down, the purple and gold confetti. Yeah, I'm gonna shed a little thug tear. All good though. Don't judge me. Super chat donation. This one's coming from TC, making it rain again. Clap it up for TC, making a thunderstorm here on this episode of Quiet Storm Sports. Thank you so much, brother. Says, after watching this interview, I respect Lamar Jackson even more. Yeah, and the fact that we don't get too many Lamar interviews like that. We don't get a whole lot of Lamar interviews. So when this type of stuff happens, it's like big, and it like really kind of peels the layers back on who he really is. And I really appreciate that. Hell, I wish he can come on our podcast. That'd be so dope. Maybe one day. We'll see. Maybe one day. But I definitely respect Lamar Jackson a lot more after this. TC, thank you so much for the super chat donations, dropping another 20 ball in the chat, making it absolutely thunderstorm here. Mac Millie says, the tears are for the people's champ. LJA dropping another super chat donation with it. Thank you so much, Mac Millie, again. Yeah, it's going to be, the rest of the world won't understand it. They'll be like, oh, Lamar Jackson, he finally got a Super Bowl. But for us, it'll be like, all our life we had to fight. It's basically, that's what it's going to feel like, So that coming out of that struggle, yeah, it's going to hit different. By the way, I want to give a couple of shout outs to some members here in the chat. Always got to give a shout out to the members. Tanja Bowman's in the chat. What's going on, Tanja? She says, I will dance in the streets if we get that Super Bowl. I will feel it for Lamar as well. Absolutely. I also see, again, my guy Coach is in the chat. What up, Coach? Sip to Tally Films. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Coach. Doing another Ravens Roundup episode tomorrow. That's Wednesday, July 29th, with Coach and the gang. So make sure you check that out over on Sip to Tally. Mike is in the chat as well. Mike M. Flocking. What's going on, Mike? Another member. I see Afia in the chat. What's up, Afia? I also see Chris. What's going on, Chris? Chris always coming through, supporting, showing love and hate. But thank you so much, Chris, for coming through. Let me see. Mr. Loop. Steve Loop is in here. What up, Mr. Loop? Appreciate you for coming through as well. And then again, always a big shout out to the Replay Gang. Replay Gang. I ain't forget about you. I love you. Okay. Make sure you like that video. tackle that like button, caress it, do whatever you got to do. Do whatever you got to do. We'd appreciate it. But yeah, Lamar Jackson says he doesn't feel the pressure. He doesn't feel the pressure. I mean, he's going into year 9, but like, and that's how you know. Like, I could see if Lamar was like this, how do I say, like, sorry guys, Amazon guy's at my door. He just knocked at the door, and now Ace is going berserk right outside my studio door here. So if you can hear him, I apologize. But he says hello to everyone. But what it really tells me is that Lamar Jackson, he hasn't lost a step. See, here's the thing I don't like. I was watching national sports media yesterday, and I'll probably end up getting into this maybe on tomorrow's episode more in depth. But there's this narrative that's been going around about Lamar Jackson. It's like, oh, you know, once the running and the athleticism kind of wanes off and falls off, is he going to still be as effective? And I'm like, why are we acting as if when Lamar Jackson hits 30 years old, that he is going to transform magically into a cripple, like a disabled person? Shout out to my disabled folks out there. But why are we acting like Lamar Jackson's automatically going to spawn into every game in a wheelchair and have to throw from the pocket sitting in a wheelchair after he turns 30? No, he's always going to have that escapability. He's always going to have that burst. And again, those plays like you saw against the Bills last year, like I mentioned earlier in the show, where he scrambles back for 13 yards and then ends up getting a 15-yard gain with his legs. That's not just pure speed. That's knowing how to play the game of tag. That's growing up playing a lot of tag. You're it. And just knowing the move, like the movements, right? It's different. It's different. People underestimate how much Lamar Jackson uses his mind when he's running. He's very smart. He's a very smart runner of the football. And those smarts will never leave him. So again, we got to stop with this narrative that, oh, once Lamar turns 30, 31, he reaches year 10, he's all of a sudden going to turn into a snail. Not the case. Not the case. All right. Okay. Next little piece of this interview here. We're almost done.
Leave that behind for them, you know, when I'm done playing football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very confident that will happen for you.
Yeah, man.
What is it that is your greatest motivation? Everyone's motivated by different things, depending on who it is, you know?
No, God, my biggest motivation, Jesus Christ. They asked me, Coach Izzy asked me, like, when we came back, you know, what did you do this all season? What did you do on over the break after OTAs broke? When minicamp broke? I was like, man, I went to church and I was like reading the Bible more. Bro, I'm just starting to see a lot of stuff now. Like, my eyes just opening up. And that's pretty much been my motivation for real. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. Mm-hmm. You know, I still make mistakes, but just God, you know, Jesus Christ just opening my eyes. I'm like, man, there's so much in store for us all, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
Awesome. Last season, Lamar, obviously, it was just like a challenging.
By the way, I do want to say that I love the fact that Lamar Jackson is leaning so much into his faith. I mean, he's mentioned calling God, you know what we say here on this show, call God, right? He's mentioned, you know, God and Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior multiple times in these interviews, and I could not love it more for him. Because when you have that spiritual understanding, right, you don't let the noise, the outside noise impact what you got going on. You don't let, you know, you just basically let go and let God. And just kind of having that mentality, hey, look, I'm locked in. God, I mean, Jesus can provide me with the discipline and things like that. I'm locked in with it and I'm ready to roll. I mean, that tunnel vision. When you have God and a purpose, it's a dangerous mix. A couple super chat donations to get through here. Mac Millie dropping the 5-piece in the chat. Thank you so much, Mac. Mac Millie says they refuse to acknowledge his elite quarterback capabilities. Yeah, because if they did that, if they ever came around to saying that Lamar Jackson actually is a better passer of the football than, I don't know, Josh Allen or Joe Burrow or whoever, they would have to admit that they were wrong all along. Like, once and for all, the only things that Lamar naysayers hold on to in the big 2026 is the fact that he does not have a Lombardi. And that's another reason why I'll probably break down myself. once he does win that Lombardi, and shed a little tear, probably on stream with you all, is because no longer are you going to be able to discount and write off everything that he has so clearly done already. You're not going to be able to discount that and write it off because he has not won a Super Bowl. That's why, again, it's all the more important. All the more important. Because now then they would have to say, okay, he is an elite passer. He's also an elite runner. And he's got a Super Bowl. I'll put it like this. If Lamar Jackson wins one Super Bowl, and let's say he wins it this year, hypothetically speaking, let's knock on wood, hopefully that happens. If he wins one Super Bowl, you're going to have First Take, ESPN, First Things First, whatever national media sports show you watch. They're going to have the headline. The debate will be, is Lamar Jackson a top 10 quarterback ever? Is Lamar Jackson a top 10 quarterback of all time? Hell, you might be able to get him even up higher on that list. Don't let him get 2 rings. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. He doesn't have any right now. Who am I fooling? But that will be the talk. That will be the narrative. That will be the new narrative because it'll be forced. You'll have to talk about it like that. Okay, the guy's got 2 MVPs, should be 3 first-team All-Pros, a Super Bowl ring. We got to start talking about this guy like he's top 10 ever to play this game. He's just that close. He's that close. Another super chat donation. Thank you so much again, Mac Millie. Another one coming from OG Juju Bean. Thank you so much, OG Juju Bean, dropping the 5-piece in the chat. OG says, hot take, Lamar's movement in the pocket and agility is his actual superpower. He's like a cat with eyes in the back of his head. OG Juju Bean. I have been saying this for years. One of the most underrated aspects of Lamar Jackson's game is not his top end speed, right? It's not even him throwing the ball down the field. Oh, it's his pocket presence. It's his pocket presence. And knowing where he's hot, knowing where the pressure's coming from, having the wherewithal to actually turn his head and look. A lot of quarterbacks, when they're dancing around the pocket, trying to step back and forth, they just kind of trust their they just kind of trust their line to do all the work. No, Lamar Jackson specifically places, like he looks around and assesses the situation, and in a half a second, like a split second, puts himself into more advantageous point in the pocket where his guys can catch one more block and he can maybe get the ball downfield or he can run it downfield. That's what he does. For example, who remembers the first Ravens touchdown in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs? You know that deep ball to Zay Flowers where he kind of dips out of a sack, assesses the situation, moves into a more advantageous part of the pocket and tells Gus Edwards, hey, get that one block for me right there. Puts Gus Edwards in the perfect place to get that block, and then he gets the ball downfield to Zay Flowers. He does it all the time. Who remembers the Ravens versus Steelers? I want to say it was the playoff game. That red zone touchdown to Justice Hill, where Lamar Jackson, he is dipping back and forth in the pocket, looking around, buying himself time in the pocket, and then finds Justice Hill for the touchdown. His movement in the pocket is his superpower. I'll take it a step further. His movement when he's out in the open field, right, and he's actually become a runner, his ability to not take big hits, which is why I hate the narrative like, oh, he runs too much, this is why he's getting banged up, the running's not going to be there for. He doesn't even take hits as a runner outside of the pocket. Pretty much anytime Lamar Jackson has been hurt, outside of, I think, the one time where he had a little back contusion or something like that. I think he got kneed in the back right before the playoffs in 2024. I want to say that was. But when he's in the open field, he does such a great job at contorting his body. And basically, if he is going to get hit, he's going to get hit or tackled on his terms. That's how good he is. He gets tackled on his terms. Unlike guys like Jaden Daniels, who I really like. But Jaden Daniels is a crash dummy out there. I mean, Jaden Daniels is like 175 pounds soaking wet with boots on. And he's out there going head up with linebackers and DBs. And he's getting smacked. Getting smacked to the point now where, like, injuries are a legitimate concern for Jaden Daniels this early in his career. Lamar Jackson has not been that type of quarterback. If he runs, he's going to get tackled on his own terms. He's going to get out of bounds. He's going to make the last guy miss and then, just go down softly. That's what he does. That is his superpower. Those are his superpowers. Thank you so much, OG Juju Bean. Appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for submitting the super chat donations tonight. You guys are going crazy. All right. Let me see. Last part of this interview here. Here we go. Lamar Jackson, will you have a bounce back year? Yes or no?
Season with the injuries and whatnot.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How confident do you feel in this year, going into this year, that it's going to be a strong bounce back season for Lamar Jackson?
Oh, yeah, I'm confident.
Yeah.
Super confident.
Okay.
I'm super confident. I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
I think that everybody, all Ravens fans, like, if Lamar's healthy, Lamar's playing like we know
listen
that
to that,
everybody
listen to that.
next season for Lamar Jackson.
He's like, yeah. Do I see a bounce back season for myself? He just kind of laughs at that question. Like, bro, come on now.
Oh, yeah, I'm confident.
Yeah.
Super confident. I'm super confident. I'm hyped. I'm hyped.
I think that everybody, all Ravens fans, like, if Lamar's healthy, Lamar's playing like we know Lamar is capable of. We're going places. Like, we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, we're gonna be all right for sure. We're gonna be all right for sure. No doubt. No doubt.
Well, look at that. If that doesn't get you fired up, if what Lamar Jackson just said there does not get you fired up and ready to go for this 2026 season, I don't know what to tell you other than that you are not a real fan. Okay? Because Lamar Jackson saying there that, hey, look, I've got no doubt in my mind. I am uber confident that I'm going to have a bounce back season. The Ravens are going to be all right. And this is also the reason, by the way, what Lamar Jackson just told you right there, that's the exact reason why he will not get a contract done. He will not get an extension done until after this season. You heard it right there. He knows. Oh, yeah, I'm going scorched earth this season. Yeah, I'm getting back to that MVP form. We're going to the playoffs. We're going to make noise this year. Last year was an anomaly for how bad we were. And it truly was that, considering the past performances in Ravens seasons with Lamar Jackson. Last season was an anomaly. So Lamar knows he's going to bounce back. He knows that it's not smart to go to the negotiation table right now, coming off of that anomaly bad season. He's like, no, I'm betting on myself again. That's all it is. That's all it is. And guess who loves it? I love it. I absolutely love it. Mac Millie says the bounce back is inevitable and the league knows it. They do. They do. They do. They put him at 69th in the league, though. So, I mean, more bulletin board material. Lamar Jackson said he doesn't care about that sort of stuff, but I know he hears the noise. He just doesn't clap back anymore. He doesn't respond to your Nick Wrights or whoever it is on Twitter who has anything to say about him. He's just like, okay, I got you. What do you say? One way or another, I'm going to find you. I'm going to get you. It's kind of like, you guys remember when Lionel Messi the other week when the World Cup was still on and Jude Bellingham from, I believe, England walks up to Lionel Messi and he's like talking trash to him before the game. And Lionel Messi's basically like, all right, I ain't got to respond, but noted. I got you. That's how Lamar Jackson is moving this year. Thank you so much, Mac Millie, for another super chat donation. Okay. All right. So that was pretty much about the end of the Ravens interview with Lamar Jackson on the Lounge podcast. Again, couldn't say enough how excited I am to see this team on Sundays again. Can't say how excited I am. Now, I do want to get to some other player interviews that were had today after the Ravens wrapped up their meeting, because I don't think they practiced today. They just kind of met. They all met there at the castle. But tomorrow is the first official practice, or maybe you're the replay gang, and it's today, later today. By the way, again, shout out to the replay gang. But let's go ahead and take a look now at Mark Andrews. Okay, Mark Andrews is one of the ones who did an interview today with the Ravens media. And he was talking about the tight end room
They come to work each and every day, work hard, and we're all kind of learning. Besides Durham, he kind of knows it all. But I just think that we're able to complement each other incredibly well, push each other, all the good things that you want in a room. These guys are, top of the notch guys, and it starts with Coach Grossi doing his thing. We all feed off him. These guys are great.
Now, there might have been a part that you missed in there, but your boy Sutton didn't miss it. So let's take another listen about what Mark Andrews thinks about his tight end room that's around him, and I guess this new scheme that they're all trying to learn together.
They come to work each and every day, work hard, and we're all kind of learning. Besides Durham, he kind of knows it all. But I just think that we're able to complement.
Boom! It was right there. It was right there. It was quick. You might miss it, but he said that we're all trying to learn this new system of Declan Doyle, except for Durham Smythe. He already knows it because Durham Smythe was in Chicago with Declan Doyle last season. Now, much like I said, probably about an hour ago to this point on this very episode of the show, I believe that you're going to see a lot of similarities between what you saw in Chicago last year and how they ran their offense and what you're going to see in 2026 with the Baltimore Ravens' new offense with Declan Doyle. And the reason being is because he's literally saying here, like, yeah, the scheme and like the plays and whatnot, Durham Smythe, he's already got it down pat. Which again, it tells us that it's going to be a port over, at least in some capacity in what we saw in Chicago. So much like I said an hour ago, guys, you're going to have a lot of 12 personnel, right? I think that they ran 12 personnel, the 8th most in the league last year, the Chicago Bears did. So when you have Derrick Henry and then you have Mark Andrews, who I still expect to be like kind of like that featured receiving tight end, and then you have like a either like a Y, maybe you have that as a Josh Cuevas, but then you also have 13 personnel where you can throw Andrews, maybe Hibner, and Smythe on the field at the same time. And it forces the defense to make choices. That's one thing that I really do believe that Declan Doyle is going to add to this offense. He's going to force defenses to make choices, like in live situations. Much like Jesse Minter, he disguises his defenses and things like that. So, you get one look pre-snap, and then by the time the ball snaps, it's a totally different thing that you're looking at. I think you're going to see a similar thing with Declan Doyle. You're going to see some heavier packages like 13 personnel that the Ravens end up throwing out of. They end up passing out of that personnel group. And I could see it working. I mean, with Lamar Jackson, of course, all things are possible. But it's really going to be like a pick your poison type of offense. That's what I'm expecting. Because is it going to be Derrick Henry getting the ball with all these tight ends on the field? Or is it going to be another play action and Lamar Jackson destroys us, right? Because we've got all these big bodies on the field, so many people packing the box and whatnot. And now Zay Flowers is open deep, or Rashad Bateman is open deep, or Elijah Server, whoever. Man, sky is the limit for this offense. So I didn't get too much from Mark Andrews' interview. Ronnie Stanley said a couple of things, though, I do want to bring up. Talking about Trey Hendrickson here.
I kind of already knew what to expect. I mean, I played against the guy for the last 8 years, so I kind of already knew what to expect. But personality-wise, he's a great teammate. That's the type of guy you want in the locker room. He's always been that way. That's always been a guy that you play against. You're like, yeah, that's a guy you'd want on your team. And I'm very blessed and fortunate to be working against him every day in practice because, we're only going to make each other better. And at the same time, I feel like we have a great relationship to where we enjoy the process together. I mean, I played against the guy for the last 8 years.
And I didn't really think about that. Like, I know we always say iron sharpens iron, all that good stuff, and it's a fact. But the fact that Ronnie Stanley, going into what, year 10 for Ronnie? 9 or 10, one of the two, right? And he's going to be going up against Trey Hendrickson, who's, he's got some years under his belt in his own right. But that is going to, I think, kind of because look, when you're going from in practice Odafe Owe rushing you, or a young Mike Green rushing you, or an older pass rusher, whatever, that isn't getting 35 sacks over the course of 2 seasons, then your skills probably aren't being tested in the way that they should. So the fact that he's going to have one of the best pass rushers going up against him, lining up over him in training camp, in practice and whatnot, I think that that's only going to bode very well for Ronnie Stanley on Sundays when he's going to be going up against lesser competition by and large when it comes to edge rushers across the league. So love that from Trey Hendrickson. Also, it's going to be good for Trey as well because Ronnie Stanley, he's a stalwart on that offensive line. So if you can consistently beat him, or maybe they're like 50-50, they're even, I'm loving that. I'm loving that. So love that from Ronnie. What else did Ronnie say? Ronnie had some other things to say too. Venga Ioane news. So Ronnie talking about Venga Ioane.
It's been great. I see everything I want to see from a pro, especially, early draft pick and an offensive lineman. He comes in, he's all about his business. He looks like a seasoned vet out there. I'm not worried about him one bit. It's been great. I see everything I want to see from a pro, especially, early draft pick and an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
He comes in, he's all about his business. He looks like a seasoned vet out there. I'm not worried about him one bit.
And that's the second time we've heard somebody say that Venga Ioane looks like a seasoned veteran already on this team. Like, again, Lamar talked about it. I talked about it. Right now it's on paper. We're just going to have to see how this guy does on the pro level. But when you have somebody who has been, all pro tackle, been with the Ravens for his entire career, and just kind of been like that anchor, that kind of one bookend tackle on the left side, saying that this young guy, he's not worried about him at all, and that he already looks like a seasoned vet. Everything that you would want a seasoned vet to look like, that's what Venga is already doing. I think we might have got us one. Okay, I think we might have got us one with Venga Ioane. But keyword, think. We got to see when the pads come on in training camp. I need to see him get some snaps in the preseason so he can be ready for week 1. That's what I say. The man says no more stupid Harbaugh doghouse. Exactly. Play the best damn players. I don't care how you're feeling about them week to week. Play the best damn players. Queendom Come says definitely looking forward to the end of the stupid doghouse. I agree. Anything else Ronnie has for us here? Ronnie, what you got? What else did he have? John Simpson. Talking about John Simpson.
Great. John's a great player, great guy. I love his energy. He brings his energy to the room every day. He's always in an upbeat mood. Doesn't matter what time it is. And, it's been great.
Good to know John Simpson is, in the castle, in the locker room. He's super friendly, upbeat with the guys on his team. But on that field, he's a dog. Okay. He's nasty. Right. So love that. Again, you had some other guys as well. I think there was one more that I maybe wanted to show you guys. Let me go through them here. Tavius Robinson said some things. Let's go ahead and listen to Tavius real quick.
Trey's honestly one of the hardest workers I've been around.
Trey Hendrickson.
He's been here since the first voluntary workout, and he was here all summer. So, the past 6 weeks, we've just been grinding, getting after it. So to see a guy like him who, with the career that he's had, he doesn't have to be at anything that's not mandatory, and he's been here since day one. So it's been great to have his leadership in the room as well.
So wait a minute. Does that mean that Trey Hendrickson's been practicing with Tavius Robinson the past month and a half? Did I hear that correctly, chat?
Trey's honestly one of the hardest workers I've been around. He's been here since the first voluntary workout, and he was here all summer. So, the past 6 weeks, we've just been grinding, getting after it. So to see a guy like him who, with the career that he's had, he doesn't have to be at anything that's not mandatory.
By the way, can we get Tavius Robinson a new shirt? Can we get him a new shirt? Because what's going on here? Respectfully, of course. What's going on here? Like, it looks like you just put the shirt in the washing machine 80 times in a row and just let it keep spinning. I like, because what happened here? Why is the wear and tear that bad? I don't know. But it is good news to hear that Tavius Robinson has been working with Trey Hendrickson. Maybe Tavius can be that guy. Because we were talking about it last week, me and Alex were on the main pod. I said that, I asked him, who do you think lines up the most opposite Trey Hendrickson? And he said Mike Green. Alex did. I said I think it should be Tavius Robinson, at least early on starting the season, because Tavius Robinson gives you a little bit more versatility in terms of being able to set the edge, being able to stop the run. And then also being a little frisky, getting after the passer, right? Tavius Robinson, I really look at as like a jack of all trades, master of none on that D-line, or as an outside backer. But I do think that him working with Trey Hendrickson, maybe he does develop a little bit more of a pass rush specialty while keeping all of those other same really good attributes, like I just mentioned, being able to stop the run, set the edge, all that good stuff. We'll have to see. Maybe Tavius has a breakout season. Maybe Tavius is like an unsung hero on this 2026 team. Nobody's really talking about him right now. Hell, half the world doesn't know who he is, like football fans. But us Ravens fans, we know just how good Tavius Robinson is and how underrated he really is as well. Definitely underrated.
I think Mike's a dog, and he's been a dog since he got here. He's been grinding, and so I think, our room is going to be a special room this year for sure, and I'm excited for Mike. I think he's going to have a great year for sure.
Mike Green. We've been talking up Mike Green too. And I told Alex, I said, if Mike Green, if he can kind of round out some other areas of his game, we can already see he's put on the weight. I cannot wait to see what he looks like at training camp tomorrow. Cannot wait. All right. But if he puts on a little bit more weight, then I definitely think he can be a force to be reckoned with rushing the passer. I do. He was just a little bit he was too small last year. He was just too small. He was getting around on the, trying to bend around those damn near 400-pound NFL right tackles, and they were just kind of stonewalling him for the most part. Just stonewalling him. But yeah. All right, so I think that was about it from Tavius as well. Let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything. So this was new.
Now arriving, the two-time Pro Bowler, fastest player in Ravens history to reach 100 career receptions, hailing from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, out of Boston College, wide receiver number 4, Zay Flowers.
Let's go, Zay.
Got a good voice.
The best safety in the league, two-time first-team All-Pro, the chess piece himself, number 14, Kyle Hamilton.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
By way of Virginia Tech and Duke University.
Okay,
number
Peebles.
90.
I love this.
Won the Heisman at the University of Louisville.
Hey.
First round of the 2018 draft. Certified best on-field drip of
Okay, Nate, with the fresh hairdo, ready for training camp.
defensive back in the NFL. Number 2, cornerback, Nate Wiggins. It's number 21.
Hey, Jalen Hawkins, J-Hawk. Listen, man, you talk about the vibes this year. They are really, and I don't know exactly whose idea this was to do this. Whoever it was is a genius, but like, they're really making it seem like for the players, like I can tell, I'm not even there, but I can tell, like, they're making it seem like, okay, this is not the same old Ravens. Like, this isn't the same old, you show up to training camp and, you sit down in the meeting. Like, no, we want to incite some excitement, right? That's what we want y'all to be excited for this year, because it's truly going to be different. And everything that they're doing, even with the little stuff like this, shows me that they're being intentional about trying to convey that message to the players. It's a totally new regime. We're doing things different. Okay, we're doing things different. It's not the same old Ravens. Okay. Super chat from Mac Millie. Thank you so much, Mac Millie. Mac says, ideal sack total for Mike Green. That's a great question, Mac. That's a great question. I'd probably say for Mike Green in year 2, going to be opposite Trey Hendrickson now, a lot more talent in that room. I'd say give me 8 sacks for Mike Green. That's ideal for me. If you can give me 8, right, and you look damn good doing it, then I'm fine with that. I'd love 10. I'd love 10. But if you can give me 8, I'll be satisfied with that, as long as Trey is getting me 15, 16. Hell, I mean, what am I really asking for? The leading sack leader last year was Travis Jones with 5.5. So, I'm not going to expect too much out of Mike Green, especially going into year 2. But I'd say about 8. I'd say about 8, Mac Millie. Thank you so much again for the super chat donation. But back to this video.
Safety, Jalen Ryan
Look at J. Hawk.
Hawkins.
Yeah. I like this. This is dope.
I should start looking at who got the best fit on. Who got the best fit?
Number 39,
Andre Jackson. Oh, big backflip. Love to see it.
Let's go, man. Come on.
Hailing from San Jose, California, out of the University of Colorado, number 3, Sidobe Awuzie.
We here, baby. Let's go. Boy. You know what time it is?
Derrick Henry. He ran the fastest
Henry.
40-yard dash of any offensive lineman at the Combine. From Highlands Ranch, Colorado, and the University of Washington, number 70, Roger Rosengarten.
Let's go, man.
He transferred to the
Hey, man, listen, Roger. Listen, bro. I'm going to need you to step up this year, big dog. Okay? It's going to be a whole lot of, outside zone moving and shaking. I'm going to need you to move your feet. Okay? I'm going to need you to displace some dudes. I'm going to need that. We're going to see. But Eli.
to the University of Indiana and became a national champion.
What an intro, y'all. That's what I'm talking about.
John
Yeah, let him know. We do things different over here. Look at John Jenkins looking like Unc. John Jenkins looked like he about to go get on the grill. All he missing is a towel. Y'all know the big dude towel at the cookout? That's all he missing.
That was good. That was good. That was different.
Drafted in the third round of the 2026
Okay.
NFL Draft.
Look at
From
Jack.
Mesa, Arizona, coached by Ravens legend Todd Heap. At 6'4", wide receiver number 6.
Let's go. Turn me up, Jack. Let's go. You know what's funny about Jacoby, man? You know he's going to bring the energy. I still just can't but like look at him like a kid. Like he looks like a kid like love Jacoby, man. Love Jacoby. But he looks like a kid who's like walking home from school, like just got off the bus, right? Just got off the bus. We were hooping in 8th period or whatever. That's why I still got on my basketball shorts and a hoodie and a backpack. But that's the energy he's giving me here. I hope that this dude is going to be nice. I do.
4, wide receiver number 6.
Anton, let's get it, Jacoby.
Let's go. Oh, that's lit. That's lit.
Simpson. Malachi. Okay, you see my boy Bate? They didn't even show my man Bateman's one. That's kind of crazy. They just said that's a good one. That's a good one. Why didn't you show my man Bateman? See, man, Ravens media, they don't be doing Rashad right, man.
That's lit. That's lit. That's lit. Appreciate you.
But yeah, Ravens production's already back at it, starting the season off strong here. By the way, I'd probably give best dress to, I like Derrick Henry's, his fit right here. His fit is smooth. I like that. Little Jesus piece. Little nice little maroon. Or what would you call that? Like burgundy? I don't know. But outside of him, I mean, Jalen Hawkins, his fit was very chill, but you could tell curated. Nate was chilling. Lamar was chilling. Yeah, I think I'd have to give best dress in this video to Derrick Henry. And somebody had mentioned Zay Flowers at the beginning of the show. Look how strong Zay Flowers is looking. Yeah, he's looking strong. He's looking strong. He's looking strong. I need him to use that strength to run through some arm tackles this year. That's what I need. Because what I don't need to see is at any threat of an arm tackle or somebody putting an arm in his general direction to try to stop him, I don't need you cutting back and forth. No, I need you to be very, very forceful and run through those arm tackles. That's what I need. Because the only thing that happens when you cut back and forth, you give guys way more opportunity and time to hunt you down. And we've seen it before. They come right behind Zay Flowers, bang, knock that ball right out. But we're going to see this year. We're going to see this year. I mean, Lamar's going to get him the ball a whole lot. You saw in that interview with Lamar Jackson, like, he's going to get him the football. Like, it's going to happen. Mog says, yeah, the saxophone's a screen for me. Oh, that's crazy. Not the saxophones. But okay. Again, shout out Ravens Media for that. That is so dope. I love that. Love it. Let me get into some other miscellaneous stuff before we wrap this episode of the show. Thank y'all so much for coming through to this episode. Please be sure to like this video. Please be sure, if you have not already, subscribe to the channel as well. And if you're part of the replay gang and you made it this far in the episode, I need you to go ahead and hit that hype button down below. Hit that hype button. That helps us out a ton too with the algorithm. Thank you guys again for all of your support and joining us on this journey here. Texans Tank Dell, who tore his ACL, LCL, and MCL, dislocated his knee, and sustained meniscus damage during the 2024 season, requiring multiple surgeries and causing him to miss all of 2025. He has been cleared to participate in training camp. So, Flow State, appreciate the jewels, Mikey Jr. 78 with the 200 jewels. Thank you so much, brother. But yeah, Tank Dell is so crazy because, like it says here, towards ACL, LCL, MCL, all the CLs. And that was towards like the end of the 2024 season. I want to say it was like a little bit more than halfway through the 2024 season that happened to him. So he missed the rest of the 2024 season. The entire offseason happened, and then he missed the entire 2025 as well. So this guy ain't played football in damn near 2 years. And if I remember correctly, Tank Dell is the type of receiver that heavily relies on those knees, as do all wide receivers. But Tank Dell is a change of direction type of guy. He's honestly kind of like a Zay Flowers. He's kind of akin to Zay Flowers in a way. The man, appreciate the 30 jewels, brother. Clutch. Appreciate that. But I just don't know what Tank Dell you're going to be getting out of him, because again, his main thing was just kind of like change direction, you know, like drags and things like. He was really, really good. His footwork, incredible. Is he going to be able to keep that up, or is he going to lose a step? I don't know. But he's been cleared to participate in training camp. Honestly, I love it. Because when he was playing, he was entertaining. And CJ Stroud was better too. But it looks like he's coming back now. So shout out to Tank Dell. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, this one was big for me. Raiders head coach Clint Kubiak announced Tuesday that 4-time Pro Bowl selection Kirk Cousins will be the starting quarterback over number 1 overall pick Fernando Mendoza to begin training camp. Insane. And yes, I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree with the move to start Kirk Cousins over Fernando Mendoza. Because what have you seen so far from your number 1 overall pick that tells you he's not ready to go week 1? And if you weren't going to give him any sort of benefit of the doubt for being a rookie, then why did you draft him number 1 overall? See, this is the thing that this is the type of thing poverty franchises like to do. Because the fact of the matter is, the Raiders aren't a year away from being Super Bowl contenders. They're not 2-3 years away, if you ask me, from being Super Bowl contenders. So nobody was asking Fernando Mendoza to go out there and absolutely light the league up in his rookie year and make a deep playoff run or go to a Super Bowl. Mikey, appreciate the jewels. Let him cook. I'm cooking. 750 jewels. Thank you so much. So yeah. Why? And look, here's the thing that they would try to say. Mac, appreciate the jewels, 440 jewels. Here's the thing that they would try to say. Oh, we don't want to throw Fernando Mendoza out there, as a young kid and basically throw him to the wolves, and maybe the season doesn't go his way. You kill his confidence, and now you've got damaged goods. Instead, they would rather trot Kirk Cousins out there for the first couple of weeks, at least. Here's what I think will probably end up happening. Kirk Cousins will go out there. He'll stink it up after about, I don't know, maybe about a month. But Fernando Mendoza will learn like real-time game scenarios and what that looks like in the NFL. And I'm sure Kirk Cousins will be an amazing teacher. He's just that kind of guy. And maybe that's their plan. They want to kind of slowly usher in Fernando Mendoza instead of just throwing him in week 1. But I say F it. Because here's the thing. If he is a first-round pick, let alone number 1 overall, that comes with expectations. And I'm sorry, but I want my quarterback to feel that type of pressure. I do. It's not like in 2017 when the Ravens drafted Lamar Jackson 31st overall, ended up drafting Hayden Hurst before Lamar Jackson. It's not like we were in any rush to start him over Joe Flacco at the time. We weren't in any real rush. The fans were kind of clamoring for it because we were already kind of tired of Joe by then. But the Ravens weren't any realistic rush to get Lamar Jackson on the field until Flacco got hurt, and obviously we never looked back from there. But this is a mistake to me. This is a mistake. I think the best way to get better is by getting reps. And if you got your first overall pick sitting on the sidelines in favor of a guy who is 40 years old at this point, Kirk Cousins. Not exactly sure how old Kirk O'Bangs is, but he's got to be at least pushing 40. You know what I mean? So I don't like it. But Clint Kubiak, this is his team now. It's his team. Let me see what you guys say. Kirk is still ball. It's better to be patient and play Kirk. Mike says it's not proper QB development. Nah, man. I disagree with y'all. They want to develop Mendoza. Only way to develop him, get him out there. Hey, look, and tell the kid beforehand. If I'm Clint Kubiak, hey, look, we want to start you week 1. We don't care if you go out there in week 1 and you throw 3 interceptions. Guess what? We're still putting our arms around you. We want to develop you. We know we're not winning the Super Bowl this year. Hell, we're probably not making the playoffs. We just want to see what you got. If it's not a fairy tale rookie season for you, oh well. You're 20, 21 years old. We got time. Clint Kubiak's going to be there for a minute. You got time. Because you just never know. You just never know. That's like when the Commanders drafted Jaden Daniels a couple of seasons ago. If they would have just let him sit on the bench in favor of whatever quarterback that they had, whatever vet quarterback they had at the time. I don't know if it was still Mariota or what. But let's just say it was Mariota. Let's just say, oh yeah, we're gonna let Marcus Mariota start over Jaden Daniels, and they would have never gotten that glorious NFC Championship run in Jaden Daniels' rookie season. My point is, you just don't know what you got until you try it out. You just don't know. You know how furious I'd be if the coaching staff of the Ravens were like, yeah, Venga Ioane, 14th overall pick, but we really want to put Andrew Voorhees. We want to start the season with Andrew Voorhees and see how he does first, kind of usher. No. I need to see what we got today. I need my return on investment. I need to see, maybe I don't need to get my full return on investment, but I at least need to see what I'm working with. Because if I know what I'm working with, I know what to do going forward. If I know what your strengths and weaknesses are early, while you're still a very young and malleable player, then I can probably mold you into being what you ultimately need to be. That's my point. But you damn sure know what you got in Cousins, says Miss Fancy Pants. Right. That's my point. You just contradicted yourself, Sutton. You said Kubiak should preach that they are not making the playoffs, but also hang everything on Mendoza. But see, it's not hanging everything on Mendoza. It's just, hey, go out there and do what you're paid to do. You're at the NFL level now. It's either shit or get off the pot. Right? I need to at least see what you've got. I'm not killing you for not making the playoffs. I'm not killing you for not having a crazy good QBR in your year 1 in the NFL. But I at least need to see what we're working with. That's all I'm saying. All right. What else we got? I think I had one more story for you guys. Okay. This Kyle Shanahan story gets a little juicier by the day. It's getting juicier by the day, chat. I don't know. Because look, me and Alex, we talked about this yesterday, how reports came out that Kyle Shanahan really, really Messed up his eye in this car accident that happened a couple of weeks ago on July 14th, 2 weeks ago to the day. And now we're getting news that Kyle Shanahan just spent some time describing the events of July 14th. He wanted to clarify right up front that the accident was his fault. He took his eyes off of the road briefly to find his phone, which fell between seats. And when he looked up, he had gone over the line and into an SUV. The CHP database had a clerical error attributing accident to the girl. Shanahan says that is not accurate. So, I just don't understand. Okay, so the error actually happened when moving from the Palo Alto Police Department. And here's a statement from the police department that I guess messed up this crucial fact in this case here. So the statement from the police department says, Kyle Shanahan's statement that he provided is correct and that he was found at fault for the collision. There was a clerical error in the preparation of the report that was transmitted to the state's database. We are in the process of correcting that error. It is the officer's discretion at the scene of the collision as to whether they issue a citation to either party. It is not uncommon for officers to elect to not issue a citation to either party involved in the collision. Neither party in this situation was provided preferential treatment. Well, it really doesn't feel that way. It really doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like there was preferential treatment towards, I guess, this girl who was minding her business, riding up the road. And before she knows it, there's another truck or whatever he was driving coming headfirst at her because he wanted to go down and reach for his phone. So he was already texting and driving, right? Which I know a lot of people do. But he drops his phone on the floor. And as smart as Kyle Shanahan is, you're telling me that he did not have the, what do you say, like the motor skills, the wherewithal to get that done, to just pick up your phone, still keep your eyes on the road. I've done it before, but I never take my eyes off of the road. Like he had to be really reaching to the point where like you can't see anything over your dashboard. And that's like way too dangerous, again, for me to believe that an NFL level head coach who is as smart as Kyle Shanahan, it's kind of hard to believe. It kind of feels like Alex was saying yesterday, me and Alex were talking about this. We were speculating. This might be a cover up for something worse. And I hope not. But it feels like it could be a cover up for something worse. Like maybe he had a few to drink. Got behind the wheel. Maybe he did end up dropping his phone. Got distracted. And then he hit some girl in an SUV. But I ask again, how does it get reported that he was not at fault unless he lied on the scene? And if he lied on the scene, there should be consequences that come with that. So, again, this whole situation smells fishy. Also, the fact that we didn't even get this story the day it happened, the day after it happened. We got this story almost 2 weeks later. 2 weeks later is when we got the story in. Somebody's trying to hide something. That's all I know. Somebody's trying to hide something. Yeah, you can't take your eyes off the road. You know, you do the, I mean, if you can reach it with your foot, maybe you kick it to a more, a closer spot where you can just reach down and grab it real quick, but you never take your eyes off of the road. You don't just drive blind. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Not to me, at least. Harbaugh probably backing him up. That's funny. It takes those 2 seconds to swerve in the next lane. And that's my thing. Like, why are you taking because again, taking your eyes off the road for even 1 second is dangerous. But like 2 seconds and you're like down underneath, like damn near under, near your brakes and shit. Yeah, nah, bro. Nah, bro. I feel like there's something missing from this story. Anywho. Stretch that sudden you putting in that work. Almost 2-hour stream, right? I didn't even realize that. But here's the thing. As we go ahead and we get ready to wrap up here on this episode of the show. Here's the thing, chat. We're back. Officially. Football season is here. As the moment I'm recording this is the eve of training camp officially starting. So from here until February, you are going to get a plethora of Ravens content coming from right here at the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. And it's not just going to be the content that you have been seeing. There's going to be new additions as well to our package. So I want to, again, like I said before, thank you guys so much for coming through. Mikey, appreciate those 30 joules clutching up towards the end of the show here. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Thank you guys so much for supporting this channel over this entire off season. I know it's been a struggle at times. I know it feels like we are reaching for information and news here and there. Excuse me, I just dropped my pen. Damn it. But like I said, we back. And like Lamar Jackson said, we finna have a bounce back season. Okay? That's what's going on. When's the next happy hour stream with the booze? That's going to be on Friday. Happy hour stream every Friday. And that's not stopping during the season either. We'll be doing some drunk preview episodes. It's going to be a lot of fun. But all right, guys, again, like this video before you get out of here. As always, stay positive. Always test negative and never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, much like your quarterback won, we call God over here, right? And oh, yeah, of course, may purple rain. Peace.
You're watching Quiet Storm Sports on the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel. Subscribe for more Ravens content.